is valuable, and the Catholic Bibles are just different. They just different. So I didn't know how good this book was gonna be. In this video, let's review the Catholic Study Bible. Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna review this because it's so similar to the New Jerusalem Bible, but it may be better. Let's check it out. So the book is thick. It's hardcover, and you can see how big it is. Is it heavy? Oh yeah, it's heavy. You don't want to lift that up too many times. Drop this on somebody's head at a good distance, it's gonna hurt. But anyway, so I got this from a local used bookstore for about $4. If you have a McKay's in your area, check them out. Or any local used bookstore, you'd be surprised what you find. Out the way. That's my receipt. So I got a lot of stuff to share with you all in this book. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. So we got it being published by Oxford University Press. They got their hands in this one. What else we got here? Anything else important? Oh, we got acid-free paper. That's good. That's good. So here's the contents. So it has the same amount of books that the Jerusalem Bible has because of the New Jerusalem Bible. They both go by the Catholic canon. So they have the same amount of books. They have some apocrypha books, but not all. So let's check out what we got. So if you get this Bible, you will get the Old and New Testaments, and you will get Judith. The additions to Esther, it's not going to say that right there, but if you look at it, it's in there. You get 1 and 2 Maccabees, Tobit, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom of Solomon, and Baruch with the Epistle of Jeremiah. And in Daniel, you get the additions to Daniel. And is there anything else? I think that's it. You do not get second Esdras and 1 Esdras. What else don't you get? And the Prayer of Manasseh. Those are the books that you don't get that's normally with the Apocrypha. So what else we got? What part is this? This is the biblical text and their background. So this just gives you timelines or estimates on when they think certain things happen in the Bible, like the Cain and Abel story, and the time of the patriarchs, Abraham and everything. And I didn't look at the entire thing, but you got the period of the judges, and this is something I find beneficial because this is stuff that I would look at on computer and try to figure out when did these things happen, and they have it in here for you. So that's a good thing that you don't have to go outside of your Bible for that. That's a good thing. This part I did not look through because this part is, I think it's like over 500 pages thick, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they got a lot of info in here before the Bible even starts. Like, that's a lot of information. All right, so we're at Judges 18:30, and we're going to see if it's translated right. And it says, the Danites set up the carved idol for themselves, and Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Moses, and his descendants were priests for the tribe of the Danites until the time of the captivity of the land. So where it says Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Moses, is the main part. Some versions or translations say son of Manasseh, where it says son of Moses. So according to the background and commentary of this particular part, son of Moses is correct. So if you didn't know about the controversy behind it, you can check it out. But it is correctly translated. It's good to see. So let's go on to the next one. All right. So in 1 Kings 15, 1 through 2 and 8 through 10, we'll just read this part to see if they translated this right. So it says in verse 1, I was about to read that black bold print, but that's not where it starts. It says, in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, son of Nebat, Abijam became king of Judah. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. And then we come to verse 8. There we go. It says, Abijam rested with his ancestors. It's like the inside pages, they didn't like do this print. I'll go ahead and say this real quick. The inside is so, like, I gotta push down on the pages just to get to see it better, because they got the print so close to the edges and like to that edge as well, like on the inner. So it's like if they would have separated it more and like moved the print over a little bit, it wouldn't have been so difficult to for this part. But so that's a negative. That is a negative, and that also goes with all the space around the book. Now, all the space at the left of the page, the top and the bottom are great. They space that out pretty good. So you can write in your extra notes and cross references all around, but on the inner, that's the worst part. So I'm not a fan. That is a negative to me. But all around it is great. All around it is great. It's just the inner that's the problem. So let's read this from verse 8. So it says, Abijam rested with his ancestors. He was buried in the city of David, and his son Asa succeeded him as king. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not like that, the bold, because I was finna read it. That's the second time. It's confusing. I got to get used to that. So that's something you got to get used to. So in verse 9 it says, In the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Asa, king of Judah, began to reign. He reigned 41 years in Jerusalem. His grandmother's name was Maacah, daughter of Abishalom. So the highlighted part is the main part. They actually got it right. Some translations don't. Well, I put it this way, most don't. But they actually got it right. That's good for them. Some translations and versions say mother's name, and it's confusing. So they did it right. Let's go on to another part of the Bible. So I'm going to go ahead and say this before I forget. They did say that this was a study Bible in the beginning, on the cover of the book, which is true. They do have cross references, and a lot of them, and they have notes and scholarly information, which is good, and we'll get to some of that in a bit. But let's check out Psalm 145 and see if they restored the missing verse. I don't think they did. Did they? Oh, wait. They did. Congratulations. Okay, check it out. So it's right there. It says, after the D, right above 14, it says, The Lord is faithful in all his words and holy in all his works. Congrats. I didn't notice that before. I thought they didn't. Okay, let's see if they got where's the D at? Psalm 145, an alphabetic psalm of which many of the phrases occur in similar form. I'm gonna tell you right now, like, the separating, trying to make this, like, look at my fingers. I'm trying to push down on the pages so you can see it better. Like, that's annoying. But it says an alphabetic psalm of which many of the phrases occur in similar form in other psalms or in other books of the Bible. The main thoughts of this hymn are concerned with God's sovereign majesty and loving providence. Okay, where's the D? It is down here. Oh, it's just cross references. Oh, right. What are the missing verses in there, though? They restored it back to the text. That's good, but they didn't give you any information about it. That is weird. All right. So we got in the apocrypha, we got in Sirach, chapter 51, the last chapter. They did not restore the missing verses between verse 13 and 12 and 13. The NRSV did, but they did not. So you won't get that. It's about 16 missing verses from a medieval manuscript. All right, so now we're at Mark 16, and now we're going to see some of the scholarly information. So as soon as you get here, you'll see the shorter ending, and you'll see the longer ending, which is good to see. A lot of Bibles don't do that, and you get notes about these endings and stuff like that, and you get a lot of information, stuff that I haven't heard before. So I'll just read some of it. So it says, This passage, termed the longer ending to the Markan Gospel by comparison with a much briefer conclusion, found in some less important manuscripts, has traditionally been accepted as canonical part of the Gospel and was defined as such by the Council of Trent. Early citations of it by the Fathers indicate that it was composed by the 2nd century, although vocabulary and style indicate that it was written by someone other than Mark. And it goes on and on and on and on. And it goes into the shorter ending. And I see something about Greek manuscripts. And check this out, though. I'm going to read this highlighted part. It says, the freer Logian found after verse 14 in a 4th, 5th, through 5th century manuscript preserved in the Freer Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. This ending was known to Jerome in the 4th century. It reads, and he goes into all that. So I didn't even know that they had this on display at the Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. So that gives me something to check out one day, most high willing. So let's go on and check out John. So in John, we have another issue, and they let you know about it. So we got from John 7:53 to 8:11, we have the story about the woman in adultery, and they let you know some info about that at the bottom. So we got here, it says John 7:53. Well, don't say John, but it's talking about John 7:53 through 8:11. The story of the woman caught in adultery is a later insertion here, missing from all early Greek manuscripts. Now, I didn't know from all early Greek manuscripts. Now, that's a difference breaker right there, or a difference maker. Maybe I should have said difference maker. And then it says a Western text type insertion, attested mainly in the Old Latin translations, and it goes on and on and on and on. And I think it goes on all the way over here too. It goes on all the way over here. It says there are also many doubtful readings within this passage. The style, I won't read all of that. So what we got here, we got the second letter of John, but we're really going to look at 1 John 5:7 to see what does it say. And it has the shorter, I don't know if it's shorter. Yeah, it is shorter. I think it is. So it says in verse 7, it says, so there are three that testify, the spirit, the water, and the blood, and the three are of one accord. So it doesn't have the translation that says, for there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost, and these three are one. It doesn't say that. It's going to have the other translation. So in the back, we have a glossary, and this glossary is good. A lot of glossaries I don't care for, but this one I will actually look at because it's help. Just check it out. I'm going to show you. So we got some words in here that you might need to know. So the first one we got is acrostic. It goes in alphabetical order, which I didn't know. But we have acrostic, and it says, now this is what Psalm 145 is, the one that I always go to in my reviews to see if the missing verse was restored. It says a poetic form in which the first letter of each new line or series of lines within a larger group follows the order of letters in the Hebrew alphabet. The supreme example in the Bible in Psalms 119, and outside the Psalmster, the book of Lamentations. Lamentations has a lot of chapters that follow this same type of scriptures, or I don't know what you want to call it, but writings. They do acrostic writings, a lot of it, and it is great to know and great to see when you're able to see beyond the English. It is great. But anyway, so we got some other things, like we got the meaning of apocalypse, and it starts out by saying the Greek word for revelation, which I don't think I knew that, but I always see the apocalypse. And then we have apocrypha. A lot of us know that, what it means now, but it's in there too. And it's a lot of other words in here that if you didn't know, like if you didn't know what a codex was, bam, right there, a manuscript, and I ain't gonna read the rest. But it's a lot of, oh, check this out. You got canon. A lot of people think canon just means one thing. There's different meanings for canon, and this one starts out by saying a Greek word meaning measuring rod, and later, the rule by which something, this book, it's just hard to, it needs to be like, yeah, they need to redo this because it's hard to like see properly what I'm telling you. It's just, the inner is just a mess. But it says, and later the rule by which something was judged. Christian tradition uses the word for the official list of the individual books that make up the scriptures. The canon of the Catholic Church is more extensive than that of the Protestant churches, but less extensive than that of the Orthodox churches. And that's good to see and good to know, because some people, even I was ignorant of what all the canon can mean. You got the Dead Sea Scrolls. They tell you when they were found. There's some info on that. You got the Decalogue. In Greek means 10 words. And it goes back to the commandments that was given in Exodus 20, 1 through 17, and Deuteronomy 5, 6 through 21. And it even has Deuterocanonical, which says Greek second canon, which I didn't even know that. And that's where a lot of the apocrypha books will be. So it's not a lot of info in here, and I didn't go through much else. But from the few I looked at, was beneficial. So the glossary in here, I like the glossary in here. And in the back, we also have, it's more stuff, but I can't get everything, of course. But we have biblical archaeology. There we go. I try to say every word, every letter in there, but anyway. So it got some info on that, and I'll just read the highlighted part. It says the most extraordinary textual discovery of modern times is the Dead Sea Scrolls, unearthed beginning in 1947 and all of that. You know what I mean? So they do give you the date and everything, and it says about, what does it say? Date from the end of the 3rd century BC to 70 AD. So that's pretty good that they give you some of that. A lot of people don't know about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Let's see what else we got. Alright, so in the back, they did give you a lot of blank pages, so you can write in your notes if you want to use it. A lot of Bibles don't do that. That's rare. And you got some maps in color, a lot. You got 14. Sorry about that. And they look good. I gotta turn the camera this way for some of these things. But they look good. Yeah, you have to turn the Bible. How about that? Well, they look good. I mean, can't complain. I can't complain. You get a lot of them. Is that the end? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. And they give you a map index in the back to help you if you were trying to find something specifically, or whatever. And it's a lot. Yeah, index to maps. So whoever put this, well, the team that put this together did some great work. It's not a Bible that I would make my main Bible, because there is one issue that they messed up hugely on for me, and that's the inner. It's just too close together in the inner. That's a small thing, but it matters to me. I like separation all around the edges and on the inner, so I can write in my notes, cross references, and all that. Y'all know me. I say this in almost every video that I review a book on, but it is pretty good. It's worth keeping because some of the information in it is valuable, and the Catholic Bibles are just different. They just different. So I didn't know how good this book was gonna be, but it is pretty good. It's better than the New Jerusalem Bible, which is based off of the Catholic canon. They got the same amount of books, but this one just has a lot more information in it than that one. And where I paid for this one at, this one was higher than this one. So I don't know how much they would be on, like, in a store when they were both new, but I got this one used. That one I can't remember. It might have been, I don't remember. But that was my review for the Catholic Study Bible. What I recommended, if it's for you, it's for you. You know, if it's great for your purposes and needs, then get it. I would make this my main Bible, but that's me. I got one big issue, and I already said it. Do I have any? Now, it is something else that I will have to get used to. The bold print that they got, like this stuff right here, like this unnecessary stuff. Like, got this little heading, and then that starts, like, I get confused and I be wanting to read that. Like, that needs to be, put that above the chapter if it's not actually where the verse starts, so I don't get confused and start trying to read it. Like, that's confusing. So that's something that I don't care for, but they got it in here, so yeah. They did very well, though, overall. It is worth, well, you could probably go without it, but there's some info in here that I learned from it, you know, and that's what it's about. That glossary is that glossary is good. So anyway, if it's for you, it's for you. I won't use it a lot, but for the info that's in it, I probably will come back for like the glossary or some timelines or something. But I don't know about just reading it and making it my main Bible, but it's something that I would keep, you know, for the info that's in it. It's got value. More value than the New Jerusalem Bible. It's like what's in the New Jerusalem Bible is in this, but just more is in this. So if you're going to get the New Jerusalem Bible, you might as well just get this. It's no point. I just don't find a point to get that when everything that's in that is in this. What's the point? So anyway, peace be to the saints. I'm out of here. I hope y'all enjoy this review and find something in here that is enlightening. Peace be to the saints. And by the way, I have decided to just do book reviews on more books that I haven't done, such as the Sefer and things like that. And most high willing, things go well. Most high willing. I'm just going to have to get it done.